morning. This is Josie Way. Welcome to Psychic Holistic Spotlight. Tonight we have co-hosts Bill Hannon and Ken Demers, and our special guest is our very own Kathy Medeiros. We're talking about a newer form that came out in 2014, Holy Fire Reiki, and how it can be a complement to any other Reiki practice that you have.
Yeah.
When did you first hear about it and decide to?
I heard about it I think it was about a year and a half ago. Because I had taken another lineage, and that's how I found out about the Usui Holy Fire lineage. So I was interested, so I looked into it a little bit further, and it was something that really was interested in learning. It's a level 3. The first 2 levels are Usui. Then the third master level is the Holy Fire. It's a 3-day class. There's a lot of meditations to it, though, but it's really good because there's one really important meditation though that kind of empties out anything that you no longer need, and then within 24 hours of that is the another meditation though that kind of fills that energy in. But if you don't have those 2 meditations though, it can definitely throw your energy off. But I think there was about 7 or 8 meditations though within the 3 days. But there's a lot of good things with it though. Meditations though, you get a lot more relaxed, a lot more kind of even tone with your energy. One thing that distinguishes this lineage is that it increases the energy of the wonderful effects of being loved. That kind of gets increased. Some people call it deep or refined. It's just a very increased energy feeling of being nurtured or being nurturing toward others. This is different though in the way that the level 3 is ignitions. It's not attunements. It's not the traditional way to get attuned or get this a part of you though, so you can be so you can use this. It's igniting the fire. Is really what it is. Mm-hmm. It's igniting the fire that's within you already, though it just gets a lot more increased as well. It's a very, very soft, hot, love-based energy. So it definitely. When I was a student and I took this initiation, I definitely felt a big change. As with anyone who's taken Reiki, they can tell you, though, as a student, that you also usually tend to get information about your part of your future, though, that you need to expect, though, so you can be prepared for that as well. At least that's what happened with me. It's a very, very, very soft energy, but it's very intense at the same time. It's kind of like the love of a parent or for a child. That's the best way I can really explain the loving energy of it. Some people just call it Holy Fire. Technically, it's really Usui / Holy Fire because the first 2 levels is Usui. There is a Holy Fire version 2. I honestly don't know too much about that. But there are some people that get tuned to the second, they call it an upgrade, is what they say it though, but I just never was interested in that part of it.
What I've heard from someone else who does this is that for the 3rd level, it's because it's not an attunement, what it does is it amplifies all of the traditions you have that come before it. So the more you bring to it, the more you get from it. But that's not to say if you've only first been starting that you should not do it. It's not like for the advanced student only. It's for anyone.
Yeah, it's even for the newbies though too. When I taught this class at the end of last year, It was 3 students in that class. One was very advanced as spiritually as I was, am, and then the other 2 were very, very new to the New Age spiritual, like the energies of everything though. So they were 2 very new, but all 3 of them definitely took something away with it, with them. Even the most advanced student though, she did too as well. In the class though, you learn about this. This is there are 4-piece grids though. That's on the planet that William Rand had put a North Pole, South Pole, New York, and then Jerusalem. This one happens to be the North Pole, but this is the one though that you get with the class. There are 12 points that you want to see here as well too, and then these smaller symbols are all the different belief systems, all the different religions. So it definitely corresponds though, and then there's 12 astrological signs as well too. So 12 is a very popular number. The way this gets used though is that you put crystals, you put this on a table, and then each point though you get a crystal. It doesn't have to be the same one for all 12. It can be all different or mix, and then one right in the middle, and then you have to have a one pointer crystal. It's usually recommended to have it a little bit larger than the others, but it's not necessary. So what it is though is that each one, every day though, you would have to put energy into the grid with the crystals are already laying on it. The one that's the pointer, you put it from the middle, like a charges Reiki grid with, say for example, I want to charge it today for peace. You would put it here, right? It's like a charges Reiki grid with peace. And then with the next one with peace, I'm trying to do this backwards so people can see. With peace, and then with peace, I think I went back again, that's okay. And, with peace, all the way across, all the way around. And now I'm kind of doing it backwards because I'm left-handed, but so it's good for 24 hours. If you can't do it every day, that's okay too, because you're still putting the antenna of the energy in it. But it's recommended to do it every 24 hours though, to charge this Reiki grid. And you can charge it for peace one day, or communication the next day, or you can just keep doing peace for a week, or you can charge it with communication to improve your communication, increase love, for anything that you want. I try to do it every day. And I've definitely noticed a change in what I charge it with, like with peace or with communication.
So if people want to get a little more of a view of that, is there someplace on the internet or whatever, or books that you think might be able to give a little more?
I don't know if there's anything on that more than what I described though, because the only time I saw it though was when I when I took it as a student or teacher.
Sure.
But you can also go to Reiki.org, and it'll tell you a lot more than about the Holy Fire Reiki, because William Rand had introduced it in the beginning of 2014, as Josie had said. So he did a lot for some of the Reiki, being in the hospital, being in hospitals, everyday terms with nurses and stuff.
Sure.
So definitely can look on that website for more information, and then if you can also come across a Holy Fire teacher though too.
Right.
That'll tell you all about it as well.
Right. I have. Go ahead, Ken.
No, that's okay.
Oh, I was just going to say, when she mentions like the hospitals, I've actually done that, gone into the hospitals, and in fact, I've even been in an acupuncture office when they have the needles and somebody doing the energy work over the needles. Well,
cool energy.
You talk about antennae, but it's very interesting.
But the crystals are similar.
Yes, right, of course. It's a
the energy.
focusing, exactly. But Ken,
All right. Now, let's pretend you're part of the audience and they don't know what attuning is.
Attuning is basically passing the energy of, Reiki in itself is energy healing using the universal life force energy that we all can tap into, but Reiki is kind of like, say like one language of being spoken of all the languages, though that's the best we can really compare it to. With the Holy Fire though, it's like the one dialect of it. And so as far as the attunements go, you have to be a student first though before you can teach it. And basically what it is that the teacher is passing the energy into you so you can use that energy. Does that make sense?
So you're exposing somebody to a higher level of energy so that they vibrate at the teacher's level and they can use it.
Yes, for that level. Yes, for that level.
Okay.
Reiki can be taught in either 3 or 4 classes or levels. Depends on the lineage. This is only 3. Most lineages, though, they can be done in 4. I usually only teach 3 because the 3rd level, A and B, though, I find it just easier and less time consuming, though, just in one class.
And what would be the difference between 1 and 3?
Well, 1 is the beginning of it, kind of like the baby steps.
But once you're capable of transmitting healing energies,
Right.
wouldn't it be transmitting healing energies?
Well, yes, but the 3rd levels, you got the complete set of the energy being received
What's
in.
happening is that the master, the teacher, will be basically putting symbols into the person's over the body, and basically you actually,
And the symbols mean what?
the symbols resonate to the vibration of what you're trying to induce. So level 1 is different, and the whole idea behind these different levels is you get level 1, you do it on family, friends, you know.
Yourself.
You yourself, exactly. That's very important. And once you get used to that vibration moving through you, you're ready for the next level. So then you go and you have level 2, and then level 3, which would be a master teacher level. But basically, the teacher is, each time you go there, is actually putting a different set of symbols in your hands, in your forehead, on your head, and it basically steps up your vibration.
The symbols can mean
Yeah.
heaven, earth, healing.
Yeah.
They're
usually-
different symbols.
Yeah.
My understanding was that the symbols were actually the name of very old Japanese masters that were healing masters, and when you're using that symbol, you're calling his energies in.
Not exactly.
But I don't know a
Yeah,
whole lot about
right, I think
Reiki.
that's-
so-
Yeah, not exactly. There are spirit guides specifically to Reiki, just like there's spirit guides to IET or any other kind of energy healing. When you're given the Reiki, you are calling in those guides to help you with that energy.
That's what I thought the symbols were.
No, the symbols are good for the healing, whether it's physical stuff, though, emotional stuff, could be, like the mental stuff.
That could still be those old Japanese people who happened to, when they were alive, they might have specialized in that type of
Okay, I know what you're
healing.
getting at. Some of the guides might be specific to different symbols, yes. But it's
but
the
for
symbols
most-
are
right.
not the guides themselves or the original
Yeah.
people when they were here. They just help with it.
You know,
It's not them
basically you're
themselves.
opening up the chakras of your hands.
Yeah.
And basically you're opening up your heart. Basically you're opening up your
Isn't that just a conscious decision on your own part?
Well, it helps.
You are coming for this education and guidance, and with your intent to become the healer and to work with this energy, the teacher putting these symbols into your hands, putting them in your heart, and stepping up basically the ability for you to move this energy.
You
Okay.
align
Now-
yourself with these energies.
I don't know how you would qualify or put an assigned value to the ability of somebody to be a healer. But if they're starting off, their girlfriend takes a lady to a thing and said, come on, we're going to go in Reiki. How long does that person that had no idea what it is take her to be accomplished? Or is that
Depends
depending
on her
on the
intent.
person?
It depends on what you want out of it.
It depends on each person. I know of a person who who practices Reiki. I'm not going to mention her name. She practices Reiki with everything. She's
what?
with everything. She does Reiki to the food. She does
Yes.
Reiki to the plants.
Right.
She does, if she's going to be on a plane, she does Reiki to the plane and the pilot.
Wouldn't there be a better name for doing that than calling it Reiki?
Well,
No, it is healing energy that
Yeah.
she's sending. And Reiki is healing energy. Ray I'm not sure which one it is, but there's heaven and earth. Ray and Ki have to
I
do
believe
with,
Ki is the heaven because that's the energy.
yeah, Ki is the energy.
Yeah.
And Ray is the earth. It is a blending of the energies of the earth and heaven.
Because there's a duality in everything, though, so you need two sides.
Yeah.
So it
But
helps.
basically, we do that every time we breathe in, and our heart transforms that energy to the physical energy of the body.
Well,
So
yes, that's the
we're
duality. in that
blending it
re-
within ourselves all the time.
But that's not necessarily
But we don't
healing
have
energy.
necessarily a healing intention.
If you give it that intention, it is.
Yes, yes. We all can tap into the healing energy, though, without being anything, without being, kind of attuned or certified in anything. But this is just one way to do it. This is, I mean, the ignitions, though, of, having the igniting the fire within you is one way that might work for you, but not necessarily work for Bill. That's why there's so many different ways to do the same thing. There's so many different languages, though, that mean the same thing.
Yeah. Now, some, like Bill and I have done IET, and there is an angel that is in charge of it, and she facilitates the healing, and she helps you keep your energy focused.
IET,
That's
that's
the
one of
word.
the tapping systems.
No.
No, that's another
that's-
energy healing.
That's another one.
Integrated energy therapy.
It's like
Yeah.
Reiki.
It's Archangel
Place-
Ariel.
Ariel, right? It's-
Yes.
But there's umpteen millions of different healing vibrations out there.
Of course.
Why would
Yes.
you limit yourself to one?
Well, this isn't a limiting, because
Yeah.
this one usually is something to add to
Yeah.
pre-existing.
It aids to it.
It came out later than the original Reiki.
The first,
And
the
it's-
first known.
It's an increaser, you could say.
They feel that after they've exposed people to the beginning levels of Reiki, that they learn to transmit energy through themselves. And so if they bring in another level of Reiki, they can increase the level
Absolutely.
Of what they already
transmission
have.
of energy.
Absolutely.
Is basically why we have 3 levels or 4 levels or umpteen levels.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's either 3 or 4 levels for the Reiki. I can't speak to the other kinds of energy healings because I don't teach those. But it just depends on which lineage that you teach, though it can be done in 4. But this is really only 3 because the master level 3, though, is very intensive.
So what you were just reflecting on a minute ago was basically your intent to be a healer, you can be a healer.
It also, I think, would depend on how many lifetimes you've been a healer in the past.
Right.
does
It's,
it-
Yeah.
it's not a simple,
There are so many
you
factors.
don't learn it in one lifetime. We
Oh,
can
no.
teach you to heal in
Right.
5 minutes, then it'll only take you 15 or 20 lifetimes to get good at it.
Right.
Yeah, but
Right,
what you're
but-
talking about is transcending, though. This is just one
The-
way to do it.
The major part of healing is to request healing energy, open yourself to clear out anything negative, open the pathway to receive, and then get out of the way and let the energy work.
Okay, but you also have to convince the healee.
Chances
that
are
they
the
should-
healee has come to you already requesting it.
I know, but they still going to have reservations and blockages and things that basically stop themselves from being healed. So in effect, you have to kind of work on their resistance to allowing it to flow.
I have a story for you.
We love stories.
When I first had learned Reiki, I wasn't sure how well it worked or it didn't work. My girlfriend's father was sick with cancer, pancreatic cancer, one of the harder ones. She asked for healing. I went and I did a healing on him, and he said, I don't know if this worked or not. I didn't feel any heat. I said, we'll do it again. And the angels made sure that he felt a lot of heat. I told my girlfriend, if what he needs to believe in this is heat, he will have heat. My girlfriend and I were sweating. You know, that's what he needed to, because he'd had energy healings before, and he always felt heat.
He had to relate to it.
Yeah, so, and he lived about a year and a half, and they really only gave him 6 months.
Another story similar to what Bill was talking about. 25 years ago, June, a friend of June's was in Rhode Island hospital, basically dying of cancer. So she asked me if I'd go in and do a healing on her. So I went in Rhode Island hospital. I did the thing. Eventually, not too far in the future, she died. So somebody was channeling a spirit at one of the bookstores, and I asked the question, why didn't my healing help her or heal her? The answer that came back was that she had so much fear of the disease that we couldn't get past that.
Yeah,
So, and another...
fear is a big blocker.
And another instance, going back to around 80-ish or 70, probably around 1980-ish.
Oh, there's one more thing about fear. I know I'm interrupting, but I'm afraid I'll forget it.
Yep.
Fear, now you're going to forget yours.
Nope.
Okay. Fear does something to you. Besides, it blocks the energy. Oh, I
And it
forgot
kind
it.
of puts up like a
It didn't
wall.
take long, did it?
No, it didn't take long. It does put up a wall.
Yeah.
And getting through that fear, if you tell somebody that you're putting up a wall of fear, and if you just believe a little, they will get benefit.
You have to be always what she's saying, that even if you have the human fear that we tend to have, if you are at least just open to trying something new or something different, it will still help them because you're being open to it.
Okay, go back to what I was starting to say. Going back into 1980, I was in a healing group down in Norwich, Connecticut. And at about the same time frame, one of my nephews was in an accident and he was paralyzed from the waist down, and my father had cancer.
Right.
So we did, or I did, I guess, a healing on those two. And then at some point later, I asked what had happened. The answer came back was, well, my father was cured of cancer. My nephew continued to be paralyzed, and I asked why. And basically, he had come into this lifetime to have that experience. So there was no cure for it.
Right.
Because he didn't want to be cured of it. It was a soul learning experience for him.
What you get when you're healed, you have a healing, is you become in closer harmony to living with a disease. You know, it helps your spirit. Spiritually, you are helped. Whether you live or whether you don't live, you are helped spiritually in being able to live with the disease. And usually there is
healing
less
on a different level.
Yeah, usually if there's pain involved with the disease, there is less pain.
One of the things that Kathy had talked about was getting people to break it down. Right around here, there's 2 points on the forehead, one on each side. And when you're going to work on somebody and they're very apprehensive, what I do is I just put my thumbs or fingers on those 2 points and breathe into it, and it relaxes the body. It's part of the way the body works.
Yeah.
So that helps to break down those barriers.
I just want to say though, too, though, I'm sorry, we'll go back to that. To take the Holy Fire, you have to be at least level 2 Reiki. Any lineage is fine. But you can also be a Reiki master teacher and still take this, though, and still be able to teach this as well, too.
Yeah.
I just want to make that clear, though, because it doesn't really depend on the teacher, but
Sure.
at least level 2. But you can be a master teacher in a different lineage and still take this, so this master teacher class as well, too.
Yeah.
As well.
In the parking lot.
Yeah. I used to put my 2 fingers here and here whenever I would start to get a sinus headache,
Yeah.
go away. And I started doing that without knowing anything about different points or anything.
Yeah, the acupressure.
You know, I think at one time I was like, oh no, and I'm like, oh my God, that's taking it away.
Well, there's 2 points. If you put your fingers on your eyebrows, there's 2 little notches, probably right about there, if that means anything to anybody. But you can feel the little notches.
I don't have eyebrows anymore.
Still got the notches. Breathe into those notches, and that's also good for that type of headache.
So since we're talking about the acupressure, though, you can also add the Holy Fire Reiki to that, though, to increase the healing even more for that.
Either that or just will yourself to have the energy flow, and it flows.
Well, yes, we were talking about being open to the energy being received, right?
Yeah,
So we don't block that.
Some people are more open than others.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
They've been
And
practicing more lifetimes.
what you have when you were mentioning fear or whatnot, there's kidney 27,
Yes.
which has to do with turning the body back on.
Turning the what back on?
Turning the body back on at kidney 27. You can actually feel where that is.
And whereabouts?
It's right in your
is that?
sternum, right around the second, where the second, third rib coming down. You can feel. All right, so it's not too
Oh, a
sensitive
tender
on
spot?
me. Tender spot. You see, I do it all the time, so I don't have an issue with it. But if it's tender, that means that emotionally, at some level, you've shut down. And it has usually something to do with fear. And when you massage those areas and breathe into them, like you were saying, that you breathe into them, you're activating and turning them back on. And sometimes, just because of different energy of somebody else doing it to you, it's more effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one really good thing. You can actually, add that in when you're giving a Reiki session to someone.
Right.
That you can, add the acupressure though, and then the Reiki on top of that energy though too, though, so you can get the double effect too.
So do you teach this class now?
I do. I think I have one coming
How
up
can
in.
people reach you?
You can go to my website, psychicmediumkathy.webs.com, or you can call me, text me 508-648-8021.
Well,
You
that's
better
too
say
fast.
that again. A little
Not
That was
too fast.
too fast. That was like Muriel. Okay.
I'm getting a little excited. So my cell phone is 508-648-8021. Leave me a message, as I can't always pick up the phone, or you can go to my website, psychicmediumkathy.webs.com.
You also make webs?
It's a website. It's part of the name of the website.
Weaving the webs of energy?
Yes, I do have one class coming up though in the
Okay.
spring. I believe it's March, but the website that would actually say when it is though. So I have an office though. I'll be
Coming
doing
up
this
in March? Okay,
Yes,
so it's
yes.
6 months away.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, March of 2019.
But it'll be before we air this.
Yeah, so
And
people can
after
always
we
sign
end
up
this.
for it. Yeah,
This doesn't get aired until
No,
March?
no. It will.
so people could definitely sign up for this class that I'm teaching though in the spring. 2019.
Good.
Thanks for joining us. What does that
To
say?
speak.
30 seconds.
Okay. Thanks for joining us. Please come back and watch us, and keep healing. Look, send healing and love to yourself and to everyone in your life.
And we also take requests for certain types of shows.